Today is April 15th, 2025. Last couple days of the vlog. Yesterday on the 14th, I was up in Hartville, okay, walking around. Some ladies were following me, and they're talking. That lady that's telling them that they can extort money out of this is actually Will's secretary. Now, they said that Will's secretary was doing something for him. I remember that a long time ago. Okay. And she's the one trying to find out for him who was in it with Dave, trying to have her killed. And they thought they could extort government funds. And it ended up being her two daughter-in-laws. They announced it. Okay. You need to arrest him. You can't not arrest them. You can't let this go. It's right on Google. The attempt to extort government funds is 20 years. See, you can never touch informant money. Ever. Yeah, people were saying all kinds of stuff up there. They sold the login the first month. We all know they did. I was in Dollar Tree on Saturday across from Walmart 62, and two guys were in there and they were talking about the drug lord. When I got home, people were outside talking about, we all heard that guy say something about the drug lord. They sold the login. My phone was wiretapped before I called the FBI. That's where men were outside mocking me. What was in my phone? You know, I almost died to save Dixie, Josh, and everybody when Dave threatened to kill them all. And honestly, well, I never want to see them again in my life. I never want to look at them again. You need to put them in jail. I will not come to their trial. And I never want to see them again. And you better arrest Melissa too. You cannot allow people to exploit people. Set up bottom cameras, tape them naked, showering, and then asinine enough to Photoshop that in the other room. We all know they Photoshopped it. And drug me up and say that horrible stuff. And they beat and raped me under drugs. So I'd wake up and not know what happened to me. You know where everybody heard what Dixie said to Jen on the 6th, April 6th. When we were over there, and I keep looking at the kitchen, she's not 7 feet away from me. And she said something like, some lady had told her she could extort money out of me. Okay. She said, nobody thinks it's funny she married that old man. And this woman came around and said I could even extort his money. Make sure she gets nothing when he dies. Okay. She is such a dumbass. I asked her permission. Is it okay if I taped you talking about Melissa's mean games of pretend that you know about, and Dave talking about the gunshot night and some other things? Yes, it's okay to tape me. Okay? And then we go through her verifying. She knew it was recording, and she gave me permission before. She's such a dumbass. She said some lady showed up even though I gave her permission to tape me. I can still sue her for the money. You cannot. She's such a dumbass. It's like she's smoking stupid drugs. And I've been talking to Melissa. The chief of police up there is giving groups of people special permission to go in people's homes and watch them and do things to them. No, he's not. And if he is, he's going to go to federal prison. That's cyber stalking and extortion. And that lady told Melissa she can get her all kinds of money and extort it out of the government for her. You cannot extort money out of the government. What's going on and out of this? You can't even try to attach it. You go to jail for it. It's right on Google. Okay? And she said, poor Dave. She was having all kinds of wild sex with other men up there. And he'd be in the basement and have to listen to it. Where they were breaking in and stabbing me with date rape drugs. And raping me, and me wake up and not know what happened. Do you know how sick that is? Now they're calling me a whore. You know, well, the day after we talked, and when those men broke in my home the next morning, and heard me and Dixie and me crying over the threats on my life, and they said, "Man, that's not what's going on in here, everybody out." How much when I'm bad they were coming to rape me. Think about it. Yeah. And she even said she didn't blame Dave for what he did to me. She was in it with the whole time. See, they were talking in Hartville yesterday about that. Those two daughter-in-laws were in it with Dave the whole time. So that scared act of her crying till she passed out was an act. An act. An act. An act. See, that's where yesterday in Hartville women were talking. That was Will's secretary, trying to find out who was in it with Dave, doing all this, knew what was happening, and then thought they could extort money out of the government. Found out it was their two daughter-in-laws, were in it with him the whole time. You better arrest them. Those people sold kitty porn to my grandkids going potty. They had me human trafficked under drugs. They had me almost murdered. You better arrest them. They're dangerous and you better get their kids away from them. They knew they were selling kitty porn of the children going to the bathroom. And they exploited their own children and other ones. My son Josh is probably part of it too. And I never want to see him again either. You better put him in jail if he's going to try to have people murdered and try to extort money if they don't die. Under drugs, rape, and threats, photoshopping's asinine. But drugging somebody up for fake confessions, having somebody impersonate a doctor from before, drugging somebody up and telling them to say such horrible things. You know, people have been talking around me. They always knew there was something wrong with the tapes before. It almost sounded mechanical. Well, they have a voice alternator. They had your voice copied for all Karen's will. Karen's only to hear her Will's voice when she's out. And they'd start their truck up and drive by and everybody sounded like you. You get them on Google Play. Get them in electronic stores, stuff like that. Get them on probably Amazon. But you can get them off Google Play. Tape somebody's voice and when you talk you sound like them. People said that it always sounded a little mechanical. Well, they were drugging the hell out of me too. And leaving me with orange, lemon, and grapefruit-sized bruises. Throwing up, almost passing out, and severely personally affected. They were sexually abusing me under drugs. So I wouldn't know what happened. And drugging me up and telling me to say horrible stuff I heard. That guy's not my doctor. They already confessed that March 27th, 25, a couple days later. And then April 3rd, 25, in Sugar Creek. The other one was in Uniontown. And then they confessed again. Last week on Walmart West Husk by the register. That doctor was never one of mine. They have them taped. Well, I needed to know. I did. I didn't need to know. They're dangerous. They will kill somebody for money. And they will exploit anybody from children to women and even have people drugged for fake confessions and being raped and human trafficked under drugs and then try to steal money from the government. They're dangerous. I raised my son better than this, and I cannot believe he's part of it. But he is. Him and his wife need to go to jail, and those children need to be taken from him. You know, I'm so proud of Jen. When Jen said some lady came and asked me if I knew anything of Tapes of Weird with Yourself, I told her I didn't know anything about any tapes, and I wasn't part of any of this, and I will not be part of it. And I knew she had bruises everywhere. And Dixie said, that don't mean nothing. She's like, yes, it does. I was also almost passing out in front of people and throwing up like crazy. I'm proud of Jen. I'm very proud of her. Dixie even told Jen. She didn't blame Dave what he did to me. Melissa saying those people that that chief of police is given up there is giving groups of people special permission to break in people's homes and do things to them. No, it's not. And I'll tell you what, if he is, he'll be in federal prison. Because I'll tell you what, no, he's not. Because if he is, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Her saying, poor Dave. I don't blame him for what he did to her. She actually said that on the 6th, April 6th. Listen to, I had my phone in there, you could hear her in the back. I was waiting a few days to see if somebody said anything. Nobody said anything. See, that's where people showed up and even said nobody was going to say anything because that is what's going on. Those girls were in it with Dave. You have to arrest them. You can't leave them out in the public that are willing to kill someone, have them drugged for fake confession, beaten, raped, and human trafficked under drugs, photoshopping as asinine. Other shower scene in the other room. But drugging somebody for a fake confession and then let men beat and rape them under drugs and the poor thing don't know what happened to them is sick and demonic and evil, and then try to murder them. And then try to extort government funds. You can't. And then selling kiddie porn of children going to the bathroom and exploiting their own children. You can't let this go. It was their choice to participate in this. It was their choice. It's like you want to cry. You can't. You can feel it, but you can't. The people that I almost died to save were in on it the whole time. I like my money. I want to help Danny and Jen. And matter of fact, I get my Trackasami money. I'm getting us all out of here. At least partially. You know what I mean. If they want to leave their jobs, I'll move them. If not, I'll move them at least so they're not right next to that church. Get them further away from it. My God. Well, I haven't done the tape about this. I don't even know what to say, but you better arrest them. And they sold the lock in the first month. It don't matter if I tell. It don't matter. Like I said, when I was in Dollar Tree and that guy said something about the drug lord, I got home and people outside were talking that. No, it's funny. That guy said something about a drug lord. Well, you're slow, people. They told you a drug lord took care of me in, what, 1819? And the king had his men watch me since 18? And they announced they sold the log in the first month of the case. Dear God, I was a discussion in high school a couple years ago out in North Kent. They were talking that they discussed this case with a teacher, how illegal it is. But with that being your secretary, it was them. I'm glad Danny and Jen were part of it. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her. Stood right up to Dixie. I told him I want no part of this. I knew she had giant bruises everywhere. I was almost passing out in front of people and throwing up all the time too. See, people yesterday on Hartville, they even said nobody believed one bit of a doctor taping you unaware before, of saying horrible crimes, and sat on it till Dave wanted a divorce. Nobody believed that. Didn't believe a word of it. They already confessed it's not one of my doctors. Told you. March 27th, 25 up in Uniontown. The guy that broke up with Michelle. He showed up a few days later. Then April 3rd, 25, down in Sherrick outside Dutch Valley Restaurant, that lady. And then Walmart West last week. was not one of my doctors. They confessed and they taped him. It's a big scandal. Like they said out loud, they already knew it wasn't one of my doctors, and they were using. Oh, they happened out after that too. They were just using them to keep me drugged up there. They've been announcing it everywhere. And they said when John verified she didn't know anything about the weird with yourself, they already knew they were photoshopping everything. They announced it. 1800. Or they photoshopped all their lies. That's how they put it. Okay. Oh, of course, then there's some idiot up there later on. I'm here to make sure she gets no money. Fuck off. Wah, 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 wah. I had a friend, Grant, was in West Virginia. Has a friend that's an FBI agent in Virginia. Told him about this shit. He even said you don't have enough authority to ask anybody to quit. You're just an agent, which is basically just a police officer. It takes a judge. And if she honestly didn't get her money, he was afraid there was 2 people stealing in the office. And that it is for working the case and risking your life to get him information. And only for risking your life. Just like the Stark County Prosecutor's Office, just like the criminal attorney, and just like the police I talked to, and just like Mike DeWine's cousin, Sheriff David, said. You don't have that kind of authority. It takes a judge due to the freedom of speech. And then you got to think. You've already told 1,000. If you went to all the churches, there's 1,000. Easy. You might as well have had a rally downtown Canton with a blowhorn. Hey everybody, did you know Karen called the FBI hotline for help? Okay. And you told the police that you were only acting that way to get the drug dealers they hired. And you were tricking them. You tricked them big time. And then you confessed on a recorded line that you told on me and acted like a crazy occult person. They thought you laughed. You tricked them all. I realized that in 18 when we were sitting in the house outside Ravenna. And Dave's like, you got all these men around you. They want you. I went, there's no men that want me. And he starts saying stuff. And I'm like, there's no men that want me. And I'm like, maybe they're locals. And I'm like, what part of my God I had an FBI agent in my office? He's right there. And then all these men show up. Why wouldn't you think they're cops? I was thinking it. And I'm looking around and one of the top of the lampshades looks different. And I'm looking around. I'm like, oh my God. He thinks it's only the drug cartel here. And it doesn't realize the police and FBI's here. I had to stop myself from giggling. They all thought you laughed. They thought that was the people answering their emails. Where I found out on March 30th, 25, outside that idiot over there, saying that church is sending out emails asking other religious groups to help harm me. And other people. And asking people to show up and harass me and make sure I get nothing. His religious group was the first one there. He even said he was in the office when they defrauded you of that fake doctor of mine. It's not my doctor. See, if my doctor would have ever asked me of doing any crimes, I would have screamed at him, yelled at him. Who do you think you are? You sicko and pervert? I'm reporting you. It's misconduct. Oh, yeah. They're only there for medical. And they can get in a lot of trouble. They're not criminal investigators. Then it's illegal for them to tape you unaware. It's illegal for them to disclose anything you say to them because of HIPAA. And then, yeah. Then if they know someone's being hurt and they don't, at least they don't report it to the police. They have to go tell the police they know someone's being hurt. Can't tell them how, but they have to tell them. That makes them an accessory. They go to jail either way. Saying they sat on something, like that lady said when some doctor sat on some kind of evidence for someone being hurt for all those years till Dave wanted a divorce. Nobody believed that. The doctor would go to jail as an accessory. See, that's where the retired CIA agent I talked to said anybody knows of the tapes before and they were doing it, they can go to jail as an accessory. An accessory to those people taping those children go in the bathroom. That's kiddie porn. And so Melissa and Dixie, you need to get them. You better be taking their kids away. They're exploiting them for profit. And they're trying to kill people for profit. And then drug them, have them beaten, raped, and human trafficked under their drugs. So those guys pay them money to rape me. Did they prostitute me out? Under drugs? And then try to extort government funds? My God, they're the most wicked criminals there is. And they were selling child pornography of not only their own children, but others. You can't allow people like that not to go to jail. They're a danger to society and to their own children. But that idiot saying that his religious group is probably one of my rapists. You do realize that. Him out there saying how when that agent asked her about that doctor, it's not one of my doctors. They had already confessed he's so stupid. Here's the 30th. They already confessed on the 27th it was not one of my doctors. He's out there on the 30th telling neighbors he was there in your office. They were the first religious group there. And when she said she didn't know anything about that doctor, he knew she was lying. When they had her tape saying, they already confessed years ago they drugged me and told me to say that repeatedly. Repeatedly. And he's trying to spread his hate crime. And other people in other buildings have been saying they need to arrest that guy over there, him saying he's part of that. Over the weekend, him looking at me going, he thinks it's funny. He needs to go to jail as an accessory also, and defrauding a federal agent. He knew that wasn't my doctor. He worked for them. They lied to you on purpose. That's why they publicly mocked you. June 7th, 23. FBI agent John actually fell for the stunt on tapes before. Oh, come on now. It was only a stunt. You're kidding. You mean that agent actually fell for a stunt on tapes before that were only a stunt? You mean FBI agent John actually fell for that? You mean John fell for it? Oh, come on now. You mean that FBI agent John actually fell for a stunt on tapes before that were only a stunt? And then cackle. And cackle. Walmart 62, Stark County Sheriff's have it. Publicly mocked you. How they made a fool out of you. See, the police came up to me and told me that they never did. That agent was mad that they would actually try to defraud him with such a stunt. He was so mean to you on the phone because he wanted to make sure you were not part of it, that you didn't know anything about it. He wanted to make sure of it. He was going to be going after those people that were trying to defraud him. That's what the cops told me. that you always knew, where the police will tell you they always knew the tapes before were them and not me, that everything was photoshopped, that weird with yourself, they already knew it was photoshopped of washing yourself in the shower in another room. And they had drugged me up and told me to say it before. Some investigator, well, a couple of them said it sounded mechanical. See, other ones like her, you could tell she was drugged. I never talked to anybody. How would you like to take a drink out of a Diet Coke, the room go dizzy and black? Wake up hours later, what on earth happened to me? Have bruises all over you, throwing up, dizzy, and severely infected, and not know what happened to you? Or wake up with injection marks in the same thing, and never see or talk to anybody, and think of sexual predators raping you, where you're thinking the dirty well water is giving you cancer and infecting your personal area. And here, it's rapist. We all know you told on me before you talked to me, and you told the police you were only acting that way to get the drug dealers they hired. You got a lot of drug dealers. It saved hundreds of people. Karen around the house, Karen's will is part of the nationwide human trafficking scam. Got Judge Peters out of Florida. His group with Henry Maupy and the Gentleman's Club from Florida was here. Got over 100 men. And Judge Peters. You and the marshals saved hundreds of people. All those ones, the Kingsmen from Texas were here. The U.S. military Iraqi translator, dark web, malware, fentanyl king. The king from Texas. His men were here. California, Buffalo, New York, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Michigan, Tennessee, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. They were all here, swarming me, showing up in stores, laughing in my face. Under police surveillance with quarter. Marshall showed up in 23 and been blown the hell out of it. Got Judge Peters in 22. Mega case. Get your information on David and Churches. My God. Who would have thought all this would have been involved? I knew nothing. Only thing, like they said, when the case first started, they had Karen's ex-husband had her so drugged up there. They were drug beat and raping her. And she didn't realize that she was being raped. The only thing she knew was Dave was threatening her life and her children's life. That's what they told up in Akron. The only thing Karen knew when the case first started was Dave was threatening her life and her children's life. She didn't know anything. And out in Alliance last year, they had her drugged up. Her ex-husband had her drugged up so bad up there. They were drug being raping her, and she wasn't realizing what was happening. And they said it was some judge up there messed up in the drug cartel, and they wanted his connection and found out it's just some guy saying he's a judge. The real judge was from Florida that was messed up in here. The drug traders and human traffickers from Florida that worked for Judge Peter. He was real. Part of the big mega case. And here I thought it was Dave and his freaky friends. I like my money. I need a new cell phone. My cell phone was wiretapped before the FBI. Those people outside mocking me, having a copy of my phone. Even that idiot over there has said that knew I was watching. I watch YouTube videos, and a lot of them trying to distress monkey movies. Little clips of people putting baby clothes on monkeys and feeding them bottles is stupid. It's like, don't think of anything. Okay? And he said something. They've had a copy of my phone before I called the FBI when they were laughing at me. What's ESOP? These people have sold the login to the case since the first month of the case. It went nationwide. I can go into other states and they can hear it. And they know of the case and different things. It went on. If you don't have a login, it's rare. Um, but I'm tired, Will. I like my money. I need a new social, new car, new phone. I like my money. I want to move D&E further out. If I get my truck, it's on me money. He's so retiring. You need to rest Josh and his family. For being part of trying to have me murdered and human trafficked. When I about died, when Dixie said, poor Dave, she'd have all kinds of men over while they had wild sex. And he had to listen to it when he was downstairs. Well, who the hell let him in? The doors were supposed to be locked. And he was letting him in to stab me, date rape, drugs to beat and rape me. He was human trafficking me. And they're calling me a whore. She didn't even blame him for what he did to me. Okay, I never want to lay my eyes on her or my son again. You need to get those children away from them. And you need to get Melissa's kids away from her. And how Melissa was telling all this stuff, and the people, that chief of police up there allows groups of people to go in people's homes and watch them and do stuff to them. No, we don't. Gives them special permission. No, we don't. You better not. That lady said she can extort all kinds of government money for her. Get Melissa some and me. And I can even take that old man's money that she married. Make sure she gets nothing when he dies. The psycho, crazy bitch. You need to arrest them. They're dangerous. They were raping me under drugs and human trafficking. You don't arrest them, you're allowing the worst criminals in the world out in public. And I'll tell you what, they are part of selling child pornography of children, human trafficking somebody under drugs, and trying to murder them and trying to extort money out of the government. If I get my truck Kasami money, I'm taking Danny's family. I'm getting out of here. And you need to give Flora back to her mom, Crystal to her mom, and find a place for baby. And put those two idiots in jail. And arrest Melissa and put her... If John's not part of it, give his kids to him. But if he's part of it, put him in jail too. I almost died to save these people. And Dave threatened to kill them all. Jen told Dixie, she told some lady she didn't want anything to do with this. That I know she had bruises all over her. That don't mean nothing. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. She also knew I was throwing up and almost passing out in front of people. She's like, I didn't know anything about Weird With Yourself or any tapes before. I wasn't part of it. And I want nothing to do with it. See, Jen's smart enough to realize stupid Dixie's going to end up in jail. And she's such an idiot. Her and that Melissa, they think they can harm and exploit people and kill them and make money. You need to be in jail. They're very sick people. And one of the most evil criminals there is. Can I have my money now? Because, like, the prosecutor's office, please. Criminal attorney. And Grant's friend that's an FBI agent. You don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. You're only an agent. That makes you a higher police officer. It takes a judge due to the freedom of speech. And then you already confessed several times. You told on me that you met with that family in your office. That lost their kid in that traffic accident, and all those church people, you knew they were trying to kill me. And you said, strangers lying. You confessed you talked to all of them several times, made fun of me for some guy named Pete how to scam me. Dave's hired a hitman that he hired on his own. You confessed several times, and all the police know. You told on me. And everybody with the law kid that you told on me. You were seen by over 1,000 telling on me. We're calling the hotline. And then you don't even have the authority. I like my money. Like they said, he was only bullying you. It's not in a quarter, because then it makes you stupid. You've already told everybody, and you want me to stay quiet for what? Like they said, that for what? Them to get away with everything? And then you told the police you were only acting that way to get the drug dealers. I like my money. Okay. New car. New phone. Need to get my name changed to no social. Because we all know they have all my information. You need to arrest Dixie and Michelle. And Josh too. If he's part of it, Josh too. And if John is part of it, you make sure to put his dumb ass in jail too. I'm glad and I am proud of Danny and Jen. I'll get them out of here. I get my truck, it's not me money. But even if I just get my informant money, I'm going to fix up their house, but I like to get them at least moved out of this area just a little bit. Just a little bit. And Josh needs to get and you need to get those children away from that Melissa's kids away from hers. And you need to get Josh's kids away from him. That Dixie. You cannot leave children with people selling kiddie porn of them going to the bathroom. And exploiting children and trying to murder people and human trafficking other ones and trying to extort money out of the government. You can't leave children with people like that. There is much danger as I was. Because will they let them do it to those little girls? To make money off of it? They already let them take videos of them naked. And sell it. Okay? Because I told you with my money, I'd please fix up Danny and John's house. Her mom died, and she got stuck with a lot of the bills. Or the house has to be sold of hers, and she don't want to lose her mom's little house. And they had to refinance their house, and their house needs repaired. And I was going to at least do that for them regardless. Dear God, I was going to pay off Josh's bills. The bastard that was in it with his father trying to kill me. The human trafficked me, him and his sick wife. I never want to lay my eyes on him again. If you try him, I will not be at that trial. I never want to lay my eyes on him again. You understand? Never want to lay my eyes on him again. Him or Dixie. And they are a danger to any child around. And any human being. You can't just let this go. But I need my money to get Danny and John out of here. Because you know that church will retaliate. The day you arrest them. I need to get them out of here. Understand? Oh, when you arrest somebody, don't forget the guy in my old apartment. The one that was trying to scam you with a fake doctor. Of mine, it's not my doctor. He knew that. He was upset in the whole scam thinking you're stupid. Don't forget him too.